From winning the Heisman Trophy to making history as the first black quarterback to secure the outright NFL MVP, Cam Newton was a household name in the NFL for over a decade, boasting an impressive resume. However, fast forward to 2023, and Newton finds himself out of the league with no clear path for a return. This is the story of Cam Newton. Cam Newton, born on May 11, 1989, in Atlanta to Jackie and Cecil Newton Sr., was practically born with sports in his blood. His dad was a former safety for the Dallas Cowboys and Buffalo Bills, and even his uncles had their time in the NFL. So, it was like a sports party for the Newton family. Growing up, Cam Newton was a sports all-rounder. Baseball, basketball, and football were all his jams from a young age to his teens. But as he grew older, he later developed a fear of being hit by a pitch in baseball and could not avoid foul trouble on the basketball court. So, at 14, he called it quits on baseball and ditched basketball early in high school, making football his only game. Fast forward to Westlake High School in Atlanta, where Cam took the field with the school's football team. At just 16, he threw for 2,500 yards and 23 touchdowns, while also dashing for 638 yards and 9 touchdowns in his junior year, and college scouts couldn't help but notice the young dual-threat quarterback. By senior year, Newton was a hotshot on the gridiron, with colleges like Florida, Georgia, Maryland, Oklahoma, and Georgia Tech waving scholarships at him. The big decision came, and Cam chose the University of Florida, rubbing shoulders with none other than the 2007 Heisman winner Tim Tebow. During his freshman year, Newton warmed the bench as Tim Tebow's backup at the University of Florida, but he got a taste of action in 5 games, throwing for 40 yards and rushing for 103 yards with 3 touchdowns. But in 2008, his sophomore year, in a season opener against Hawaii, Newton suffered an ankle injury, leading to a medical redshirt season. And that's not even his biggest problem that year. On November 21st, 2008, Newton found himself in a heap of trouble, arrested on felony charges of burglary and theft for allegedly swiping a laptop from a fellow Florida student. He was subsequently suspended from the team, but the charges were dropped after completing a court-approved diversion program. Just over a month later, Newton made a switch, heading to Blinn College in Texas, where he steered them to the National JC Championship in 2009. He threw for 2,833 yards, scored 22 touchdowns, and ran for 655 yards, earning him top QB status in high school or junior year per Rivals.com. Recognized as the top QB recruit, he caught the attention of Auburn, and he joined Auburn for the 2010 season. Newton seized the starting QB role for the Tigers in the 2010 season, and the year was pure magic for him. He threw for 2,589 yards, bagged 28 touchdowns, and ran for an astounding 1,409 yards with 20 scores as Auburn roared undefeated to the SEC championship. Newton earned accolades such as the 2010 SEC Offensive Player of the Year and the 2010 AP Player of the Year, but the pinnacle came with the Heisman Trophy, making him the first double transfer and junior college transfer since 1983. The fairy tale continued as Newton led the Tigers to a BCS title triumph over Oregon, marking Auburn's first national title since 1957. Critics hailed it as one of the greatest NCAA seasons ever due to Newton's brilliance despite having a relatively humble supporting cast. 3 days after the BCS National Championship victory, Newton declared for the 2011 NFL Draft, where the Carolina Panthers eagerly snatched him as the first overall pick. In his NFL debut, Cam Newton made waves by going 24-37, passing for 422 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Even though the Carolina Panthers lost 28-21 to the Arizona Cardinals, Newton shattered Peyton Manning's rookie passing yards record. By the end of his first season, he threw for 4,051 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 17 interceptions, and ran an impressive 706 yards with 14 rushing touchdowns. Notably, his 14 rushing touchdowns set a new NFL record for a quarterback in a single season. Newton's stellar performance earned him a spot in the 2011 Pro Bowl and the title Rookie of the Year. The following year, 2012, brought some challenges. Newton faced what many labeled a sophomore slump, finishing with 3,869 passing yards, 19 passing touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. However, he showcased improved efficiency and fewer turnovers. Despite Newton's efforts, the Panthers closed the season at 7-9. In 2013, the Panthers stumbled early with a 1-3 start, but Newton led a remarkable comeback with an 8-game winning streak. They wrapped up the season at 12-4, earning a first-round bye in the playoffs. Newton finished with 3,379 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 585 rushing yards, and 6 rushing touchdowns. Their playoff journey, however, ended in disappointment as Newton and the Panthers lost to the 49ers in the divisional round, ending their 2013 season. After their season ended, Newton underwent surgery to address a long-standing issue from his Auburn days. Cam Newton faced a 4-month recovery. Despite this, he made a comeback at the start of the season. Later in the same season, Newton was in a car crash that left him with 2 fractured vertebrae in his lower back. Remarkably, he only missed 1 game and returned to guide the Panthers to a 7-8 record, clinching the NFC South Division title and securing a playoff spot. Although the Panthers won their first playoff game in 9 years in the wildcard round against the Arizona Cardinals, they were eliminated in the divisional round by the Seattle Seahawks with a 31-17 loss. Heading into the 2015 season, Newton signed a lucrative 5-year, $103.8 million contract extension. This investment proved worthwhile as he led the Panthers to an impressive 14-0 record through the first 15 weeks, eventually finishing the regular season at 15-1, a franchise best. Newton had a career-defining season, topping the charts among NFL quarterbacks in rushing attempts, rushing yards, and rushing touchdowns. He threw for 3,837 yards, 35 touchdowns, and only 10 interceptions, while also rushing for 636 yards and 10 touchdowns. His outstanding performance earned him the 2015 NFL MVP, making him the first African-American quarterback to receive the award solely. In the playoffs, Newton guided the Panthers to victories over the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals, earning a trip to Super Bowl 50 to face the Denver Broncos. Unfortunately, the Panthers fell short in the championship game, losing 24-10. Newton was sacked 6 times, and Newton's 2 fumbles played a significant role in the loss. Nonetheless, his 2015 season remains etched in NFL history as one of the most exceptional quarterback performances. The 2016 season was a setback for the Panthers, sliding from their stellar 15-1 record to a 6-10 finish. Unsurprisingly, Cam Newton's performance mirrored the team's regression, throwing just 19 touchdown passes, a steep drop from the previous year, and tallying 14 interceptions, the second highest in his career after his rookie season. In 2017, Newton bounced back with 3,302 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, and a career-high 754 rushing yards with 6 rushing touchdowns, helping the Panthers make the playoffs. Despite the improvement, the Panthers lost in the wildcard round to the New Orleans Saints. The following 2018 season saw Newton playing through a nagging shoulder injury, recording a passer rating of 94.2 with 3,395 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions in 14 games. Post-regular season, Newton underwent right shoulder surgery to address the injury. Returning for the 2019 season, Newton suffered a fracture in Week 3, landing him on injured reserve and missing most of the games that season. Off the field, his personal life underwent turbulence, marked by a split with Kia Proctor, the mother of his 4 children, following the revelation of fathering a child with an Instagram model. In March 2020, Newton was given permission to seek a trade, but he was unable to secure a trade and was eventually released by the Panthers after 9 seasons with the team. After 3 months in free agency, an opportunity arose at the New England Patriots following Tom Brady's departure to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Cam Newton seized the chance and inked a 1-year deal with the Patriots. In the 2020 season, Newton started 15 games for New England, but his performance fell short of expectations. He threw for 2,657 yards, completing 242 of 368 passes with 8 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Moving into 2021, Newton started every preseason game, but the Patriots ultimately opted for first-round draft choice Mac Jones as their #1 quarterback. Consequently, New England released Newton as they embarked on a new chapter with the rookie quarterback at the helm. After getting released, Cam Newton spent a few months out of football. However, his hiatus ended when the Carolina Panthers brought him back for a second stint during the 2021 season. The return was marked by an impressive 34-10 win over the Arizona Cardinals in his first game back. Unfortunately, that victory turned out to be the highlight, and Newton's performance declined as the season progressed. In total, he played in 8 games for the Panthers in 2021, finishing with 684 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 230 rushing yards, and 5 rushing touchdowns in 6 games. Since becoming an unrestricted free agent on March 16, 2022, Cam Newton revealed that no team had reached out to him in 2 years regarding playing in the NFL. Despite expressing that he has a lot of interest, no concrete opportunities have materialized. However, Newton isn't just sitting around waiting for a call. Instead, he's actively engaging with fans and the public through his YouTube channel, where he has almost 1 million subscribers. On his channel, Newton shares regular content featuring athletes and celebrities and also produces football-centric content. The truth is, Cam Newton was a dominant force on the football field in his prime, showcasing a resume that merits contemplation for the Hall of Fame. Being without a team at the age of 34 seems like a downturn, but it's evident that Newton has made substantial contributions on the gridiron. If the former MVP does not play another game, do you think he'll be in consideration for the Pro Football Hall of Fame's class of 2027? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below.